My father-in-law taught me mechanical engineering for over a decade. He even publicly declared me his sole heir. Yet when the Liu Group was on the brink of bankruptcy, I didn't hesitate to take the money and run. I even watched coldly as they were hounded by debt collectors and forced onto the streets. Everyone called me ungrateful, but only I knew the truth. In my previous life, Liu Ru's childhood sweetheart, in order to compete with me, for a collaborative project with Germany, conducted unauthorized battery field tests behind everyone's back. As a result, the batteries caused a major incident. The Liu Group faced bankruptcy overnight. Back then, I married Liu Ru without hesitation. Taking over the mess Qinshu left behind, I poured my heart and soul into it, developing a new generation of smart electric vehicles, and brought the near-bankrupt Liu Group back to the industry peak. But on the day the company went public, at the ringing ceremony, Liu Ru publicly reported me for harming Qinshu and stealing his technological achievements. The entire Liu family cursed me for being treacherous and ungrateful. Liu Ru even sent me to prison, watching me be tortured to death. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the day Old Master Liu decided on the person in charge of the new car project. Old Master Liu, sitting at the head of the table, frowned deeply. Yuan. I watched both you and Shou grow up, but there can only be one person in charge of the new project. I bowed and declined, saying, Grandpa Liu, my capabilities are limited. I really cannot take on this responsibility. However, Qinshu is a rare talent. He will surely be able to lead the company out of its predicament. Old Master Liu looked anxious and raised his voice. Yuan, do you know what you are saying? I stood up and looked calmly at Liu Ru. Grandpa Liu, my abilities are insufficient. I cannot take charge of the Fengqi project. Qinshu is talented and intelligent, with advanced ideas, more suitable than me. Besides, Liu Ru must agree with me, right? Seeing me so sensible. Her eyes turned cold. At least you have some self-awareness. Whether it's technology or experience, I am more suitable for this position than Qinshu. Before today, everyone assumed that I would lead this project, and my marriage with Liu Ru would naturally follow. But in this life, Liu Ru's cold gaze fell upon me. I understood immediately. She had also returned. Since you want to save your childhood sweetheart so much, then I won't stop you. Liu Ru said nothing, leaving the conference room quickly. I knew where she was going. At this time, Qinshu was testing the battery solution. That explosion would cost him his life. Everything could still be changed. I stayed where I was. 10 years of marriage in my previous life could not compare to her favoritism for Qinshu. Fang Yuan, do you know what you are saying? Old Master Liu's cane struck the floor heavily. I met his disappointed gaze. This old man, who personally taught me mechanical engineering, was now full of confusion regarding me. I said calmly, Grandpa Liu, Ru prefers Qinshu in her heart. I will not fight for it. Old Master Liu and Madame Liu exchanged a look. Thinking of Liu Ru's resolute departure earlier, they couldn't bring themselves to scold me further. I silently returned to my room, packing only a few clothes and a hard drive containing the project's core data. The next morning, the company email announced the new personnel appointment. Qinshu was now the general manager of the Fengqi project, accompanied by a photo of him looking high-spirited. I put the hard drive in my bag, expressionless. By noon, intense arguing could be heard from the office downstairs. Standing at the end of the hallway, I heard Qinshu's roar. Ru, you promised me, as long as I became the manager, you would hand over the collaboration with the Germans to me immediately. Why is Fang Yuan's name still attached to it? Shu. All the preliminary technical work and communication for that partnership were done by Fang Yuan. If we change people now, the German side will have objections. I don't care. Qinshu said with dissatisfaction. I am the future of the Liu Group. Ru, do you trust an outsider more than me? The cooperation with the Germans was the key to the Liu Group introducing a new generation of battery management systems. In my previous life, I secured this partnership and optimized it on that foundation, allowing the Liu Group's new car to succeed overnight. Liu Ru was perfectly aware of this. My phone rang. It was old Master Liu calling. The old man sat in his office, looking exhausted. Yuan, I've let you down on this matter, I suddenly realized. It turned out Liu Ru still gave the position of manager for the German partnership to Qinshu, I said faintly. Grandpa Liu, you don't have to say anything. I understand. Old Master Liu looked up at me, his eyes complex. He had always treated me like his own grandson. But one side was his granddaughter's request, and the other was the person he favored. Ultimately, he gave in to Liu Ru. I took out from my backpack the hard drive that contained all my heart and soul and placed it in front of him. The hard drive contained all the data and technical plans for the Fengqi project, including the documentation for the German side. Every file on this hard drive was the culmination of my countless days and nights of effort. Watching my calm face, old Master Liu's lips moved, but he couldn't say a word. I stood up and bowed deeply to him. Grandpa Liu, the teachings you have given me over the years, Fang Yuan will never forget. At that moment, Liu Ru and Qinshu walked in. He agreed. Liu Ru didn't even look at me, asking old Master Liu directly. Old Master Liu nodded, and Qinshu prepared to take the hard drive away. I suddenly spoke up. Wait a moment. Qinshu immediately stared at me with vigilance. Fang Yin, what do you want to do now? I shook my head, taking a document from my pocket. This is the important battery safety protocol for the German cooperation. I just finished compiling it yesterday and hadn't put it on the hard drive yet. Qinshu took the document. Looking at the strict clauses and data above, his face changed. This protocol has extremely high standards if any single item does not meet the requirements. The German side will withdraw their technology license, and the tens of millions we invested early on will go down the drain, I said in a flat tone. With your plan, wanting to meet the standards as a protocol, should be no problem, right? Qinshu's face turned beet red, but he still snorted stubbornly. Stop trying to scare me. It's just a safety protocol. I can handle it in minutes. I didn't say anything more. Qinshu's plan of sacrificing safety for performance was essentially a time bomb. Liu Ru spoke coldly. You can go now. From today on, the Liu Group and you, Fang Yuan, have nothing to do with each other. I had just prepared to leave, but Qin Xiao called me back. Slow down. Since Fang Yuan is no longer the project manager, he is no longer part of the Liu family, right? According to the rules, everything he currently uses belongs to the Liu family. Before leaving, should he leave everything behind. Don't you agree? I turned around, ignoring Qin Xiao's smug face, looking only at Liu Ru. Is this what you want? She stood there, her eyes flashing with a hint of evasion. But she still implicitly agreed. Old Master Liu heard this, so angry he smashed his teacup on the floor. Scoundrel! Yuan has been in the Liu family for 8 years. Even if he isn't my grandson-in-law, he is still half a grandson to me, Grandpa. Liu Ru finally spoke, but only to defend Qin Xiao. Xiao is right, since he is leaving. Everything should be accounted for to avoid future trouble. I looked at her, and suddenly laughed. Grandpa Liu, since this is Russ' decision, I will listen to her. But if we are settling accounts, then I must calculate mine as well. I entered the Liu family at 20, learning technology from you, until today. Exactly 8 years. Qin Xiao scoffed disdainfully. So you are trying to take credit for this. I glanced at him, and continued speaking. The second year I joined the company, I improved the production line process, saving the group more than 3 million in costs every year. In the 4th year, the chassis tuning scheme I led helped the Liu Group land that year's largest municipal procurement order. In the 6th year, to solve the motor overheating problem, I listed them one by one, item by item. With every item mentioned, Liu Ru's face grew a shade paler. Adding these all up over 8 years, the profits I created for the Liu Group far exceeded everything the Liu family gave me. Liu Ru's lips were pressed tight. She certainly knew the weight of these things. In my previous life, it was by relying on these accumulations that the Liu Group came back to life in my hands. The Liu family raised me for 8 years. I fought for the Liu family for 8 years. The heart I put in was enough to pay off Grandpa Lia's cultivation grace from now on. We are even, Qin Xiao laughed mockingly. Words come easy. The car you drive and the house you live in now. Which of those is yours? He took a few steps forward, pointing to the car keys in my pocket. This Mercedes. It's provided by the company, right? He pointed at the watch on my wrist again. This Vacheron Constantin. It must cost nearly $1 million, right? Could a poor boy like you afford that? Then he pointed at the documents on the desk. And that apartment at Guanlan Mansion under your name. It was also given to you by Grandpa, right? Everything here. What isn't from the Liu family? I let him mock me, my gaze always resting on Liu Ru. She, however, remained silent. Liu Ru, I couldn't help but ask her. That birthday of yours. The promise you made in my ear. Finally, she squeezed 2 words out through her teeth. I originally thought that having lived another life, this heart had already died. I didn't expect that, at this moment, it would still be pierced painfully by these 2 words. I forcibly suppressed the dull ache in my chest, and began to unfasten the watch from my wrist. Old Master Liu stood up abruptly. Yuan. Don't do this, Grandpa Liu, I interrupted him, placing the watch on the table. Rules are rules, car keys, apartment keys. I took them out one by one, placing them next to the watch. Finally, I took off my expensive suit jacket, folded it up, and placed it on the table, left only with a thin white shirt. Qin Xiao's face was filled with the joy of revenge. Liu Ru finally couldn't help. Call out to me, enough, don't take off any more. I looked at her calmly. From now on, I am just me, Fang Yuan, am no longer the Liu family's future son-in-law. I shouldered my backpack, and as I walked out of the office, the hallway outside was packed with employees watching the show, the company's internal notices. The news of my being removed was already pinned to the top. The pointing and judging gazes of my colleagues pierced me like needles. I dragged my heavy steps, passing through the crowd step by step. Just as I walked out the group's front door, a black Rolls-Royce pulled up in front of me. The window rolled down, revealing the face of a serious middle-aged man. Are you Comrade Fang Yuan? We are from the National Automotive Research Institute. Our dean would like to invite you over for a talk. I, with my backpack on, got into this black Rolls-Royce. The car drove steadily toward the suburbs, stopping before a heavily guarded building. At the entrance hung a heavy plaque, National Automotive Research Institute. The middle-aged man led me through the hallway, coming to a spacious office. An elderly man with graying hair was sitting behind the desk. He stood up as soon as he saw me, reaching out his hand warmly. Comrade Fang Yuan. Hello, I am the dean here. Wang Jiangguo. I was a bit overwhelmed by the favor, hastily shaking his hand. Dean Wang. Hello, sit down. Don't be formal. The dean gestured for me to sit. He personally poured me a cup of hot tea, getting straight to the point. We have been watching you for a long time. Every project you worked on at Liu Group, we have heard about, especially the several patents you have in the field of batteries. They are extremely visionary. My heart trembled slightly. Dean Wang looked at me, his eyes full of admiration. So, when Liu Group announced that Qin Shu would be in charge of the Fengqi project, we were very surprised, he sighed. Qin Shu's plan, our institute has also evaluated it. To pursue performance and battery range, they sacrifice the most basic safety redundancy. To put it bluntly, that is not an electric car. That is a bomb on wheels. We cannot understand how the Liu family could make such a foolish decision. I was silent. Not explaining the grudge with the Liu family, the German side. They are not fools either, the dean continued. He took a document from his drawer and pushed it in front of me. This was an internal email sent to us by the German side. They have already commissioned us to conduct a safety review. On Qin Shu's plan, if it fails the assessment, they will immediately terminate the cooperation and demand high liquidated damages. I opened the document. The German side had long since doubted Qin Shu's capabilities. The reason they did not immediately withdraw capital was simply waiting for an official persuasive reason, and the evaluation report from the Research Institute is the last straw that breaks the camel's back. The Liu Group this time is afraid to take a big fall. Dean Wang shook his head. But this is not what we want to see. China's automotive industry needs steady progress. Not this kind of reckless advancement. He looked at me with burning eyes. Comrade Feng Yuan, the country needs you. I, on behalf of the National Research Institute, officially invite you to join us. We are preparing a brand new project, codename STAR. The goal is to develop a next-generation power battery, with both safety and top-tier performance, I hope. You can come and be the chief engineer for this project. Dean Wang stood up, his tone solemn. As for compensation, we can offer you 3 times your current salary, and provide research laboratories and expert apartments. Everything you need, the country will fully support. I hardly hesitated. Dean, I am willing. In my previous life, I exhausted my heart and soul for the Liu family, only to have my family ruined and dead. This life, being able to serve the country, is exactly what I have been praying for that afternoon. I completed the onboarding procedures. The Research Institute's efficiency was extremely high. Soon my office, laboratory, and dormitory were all ready. Just as I was tidying up my things, my phone rang. I answered it. Feng Yuan. Where are you now? Liu Ru's anxious voice came from the other end of the phone. I didn't answer her question. Anything. There was a silence for a few seconds on the other end. Are you still angry with me? I know that asking you to give up the project made you uncomfortable. But I interrupted her. Ms. Liu, we are already even between us. If you called just to say these things, then I am afraid I don't have time to entertain you. Don't hang up. Liu Ru pleaded urgently. Feng Yuan, I just heard that you joined the National Research Institute. She was well informed indeed. Yes, I admitted calmly. How could you do this? The Liu family raised you for 8 years. Now that your wings are strong, do you want to just walk away? What do you think of the Liu group? Come when you want, leave when you want. I was laughed into anger by her words. Ms. Liu, it was you who personally said, asking me to leave the Liu group and have nothing more to do with me. It was also you who personally said, asking me to return everything the Liu family gave me. How is it? Have you forgotten now? Liu Ru was speechless for a moment. Her voice softened, carrying a sobbing tone. Yuan, I was wrong. Please, come back, will you? You cannot go to the National Research Institute. The Liu group needs you. Without you, what will happen to the Fengqi project? That is a problem for Qinshe to worry about. No, Shou has not capable enough. This afternoon, the first stress test of the battery module went wrong. The data is very unstable. The temperature control system also triggered an alarm. Shou has no idea what to do. He is still arguing with the engineers right now. All of this was within my expectations. Yuan, come back. I will give the position of project manager back to you. The cooperation with the German side will also be handed back to you. Everything will be returned to you. As long as you come back, we will get married immediately. Her words sound so ridiculous right now. Unfortunately, I am no longer the person from my previous life who would be moved by her. Liu Ru, do you think that everyone should revolve around you? You want me to leave, so I have to get out. You want me to come back, so I have to come back wagging my tail. Sorry, I am not your dog. After saying that, I hung up the phone directly and blocked her number. Inside the Liu family's office, Qinshe was furious at a pile of data. This bunch of useless fools, they can't even handle a temperature control system. When Feng Yuan was here, why weren't there so many problems? Elder Liu sat to the side, his expression growing darker. For the first time, he began to doubt his own decision in the evening. I moved into the expert apartment assigned by the National Research Institute. It was 100 times better than that small room in the Liu residence. Just as I was tidying up my luggage, the doorbell rang. I opened the door. Standing at the doorway was a beautiful young woman. She was holding a stack of files, with a gentle smile on her face. Hello, are you Engineer Feng Yuan? I am. May I ask who you are? My name is Shen Yue. I am an engineer from the project team. Dean Wang asked me to bring you the preliminary project materials and to see if there is anything else you need. I am responsible for helping you get settled in. Thank you. Please come in. I stepped aside to let her in. Shen Yue placed the materials on the table. Engineer Feng, your talent is already famous in our institute. Several seniors have said that your insights into battery technology are even more profound than theirs. The look in her eyes as she watched me was full of sincere admiration. This kind of appreciation is something I never felt in the 8 years at the Liu family. 2 weeks later, the STAR project was progressing very smoothly. With the institute's resource support, coupled with the experience I accumulated in my past life, we quickly overcame several key technical challenges. Shen Yue stood by my side taking notes, occasionally offering very insightful ideas. Our collaboration became more and more tacit. Just then, Dean Wang's assistant walked in hurriedly. Engineer Fang, Dean Wang would like to see you in his office. I put down my tools and followed the assistant to the dean's office. Dean Wang was looking at his computer screen with a grave face. Feng Yuan, take a look at this. I stepped forward. On the screen was a test report from Germany. I scanned the contents of the report quickly. Every key indicator was marked as failed. The conclusion of the report stated, this battery plan has serious design flaws and is not ready for commercial production. The German side has already sent this report to the Liu group. Dean Wang said in a low voice. At the same time, they also sent a lawyer's letter, demanding that the Liu group immediately terminate the project and compensate for all the initial investment losses, 80 million. Additionally, they will publicly announce the revocation of the technical license granted to the Liu group. This result was even more serious than I had anticipated. In the previous life, Qinshe's battery only had an accident after small batch production. In this life, because of my departure, the crisis arrived much earlier. This will be a devastating blow to the Liu group, Dean Wang sighed. Once the news is made public, the Liu group's stock price will plummet immediately, and banks will come knocking for debts. A $10 billion group might just be finished like this. I looked at the report. Without a ripple in my heart, This was Liu Ru and Qin Xiao's own choice. They should pay the price for their own stupidity. Just as Dean Wang expected, when the news reached the Liu group, the inside of the group was in an uproar. When Elder Liu saw the lawyer's letter from the Germans, he was so angry that his blood pressure spiked on the spot, and he was rushed to the hospital. The entire Liu group was left without a leader, falling into chaos. Liu Ru stood in the hospital corridor, clutching her phone tightly. She dialed my number over and over again, but all she heard from the receiver was, "The number you have dialed is switched off." She tried to call my office phone, or the front desk of the National Research Institute, but all my contact information seemed to have vanished into thin air. For the first time she realized that the man she pushed away with her own hands was the Liu family's only lifeline. The next day, the Liu Group stock hit the daily limit down as soon as it opened. News reports about the Liu Group's technical fraud and the breakdown of the cooperation with the Germans were everywhere. At the board meeting, the shareholders were outraged. "Where is Qin Xiao? Make him come out and give us an explanation." Entrusting such an important project to a green kid, who agreed to this in the first place, Qin Xiao must be removed immediately, and we must invite Fang Yuan back. Only Fang Yuan can save the Liu Group. Liu Ru sat in the conference room, her face pale. In the afternoon, I was walking to the cafeteria with Shen Yue. Just as we walked out of the Research Institute gate, we saw Liu Ru standing at the entrance. Her face no longer held its usual pride, replaced by exhaustion. When she saw me, she rushed over, ignoring everything. "Ah Yuan." The security guards immediately stepped forward to stop her. "Madam, this is a high-security national facility. You cannot trespass." "Ah Yuan, it's me, Liu Ru." She shouted at me. I stopped walking and looked at her with an expressionless face. Shen Yue looked at me with some concern. "Fang Yuan, should we take another exit?" "No need," I said flatly. "Some things must be settled face to face." I walked up to Liu Ru, staring coldly at her. "Is there something, Ms. Liu?" Her eyes turned red instantly. "Ah, Yuan, I really know I was wrong." In front of everyone, she sobbed uncontrollably. "I should NT have given the project to Ah Shou. I should NT have let you go. I was possessed. I was so sorry to you. Please, come back. The Liu Group cannot be without you, Grandpa. Hez in the hospital, as long as you are willing to come back. I will agree to anything. I can kneel to beg you." As she said that, she really went to kneel down. I replied coldly, "Liu Ru, do you still remember the day I left the Liu Group? What you said, from this day on, the Liu Group and I, Fang Yuan, have nothing more to do with each other." That sentence, I remember it very clearly. Therefore, the survival of the Liu Group has nothing to do with me. Every word of mine was like a knife, stabbing at her heart. "No, Ah Yuan, that was just spoken out of anger," she explained in a panic. I calmly interrupted her. I took it seriously. I am a person of the state now. The STAR project concerns the country's future automotive strategy. I cannot possibly abandon my responsibility for the sake of your family's personal affairs. I turned around, preparing to leave. "From now on, please do not come here again to disturb my work and life. We are no longer the same kind of people." After saying that, I walked toward the cafeteria with Shen Yue, without looking back. Behind me came Liu Ru's heart-wrenching cries, just the day after Liu Ru came to find me. The Liu Group had an accident. Qin Xiao, unwilling to accept failure, forcibly increased the energy density of the battery, attempting to use fake data to win back the German side. As a result, during the new round of stress tests, a battery module couldn't withstand the load and exploded violently. The blast wasn't very powerful, but it ignited the chemicals nearby. The entire core laboratory of the Fengxi project was incinerated in an instant. Although the fire department arrived in time, and there were no casualties, all the experimental equipment, prototype batteries, and technical data were destroyed by this fire. The Fengxi project was forced to shut down indefinitely. The German side, after learning about the explosion accident, immediately held a press conference, officially terminating all cooperation with the Liu Group, and initiated legal proceedings, pursuing the 80 million in liquidated damages and compensation for initial investment losses. Once the news broke, the Liu Group stock hit the limit down for 3 consecutive days, with its market value evaporating by nearly 10 billion in the hospital. Elder Liu saw the news, and overcome with anxiety and anger, he fainted again when he woke up. He seemed to have aged 20 years. He lay on the hospital bed, holding Liao Ru's hand, tears streaming down his face. "Ru, it's Grandpa's fault. Grandpa should NT have driven Ah Yuan away. We destroyed the Liu family." Liu Ru knelt by the hospital bed, crying bitterly. "Grandpa, don't say that. There's still a chance. I will definitely invite Ah Yuan back. Definitely. Only he can save us now. Go and beg him. No matter what method you use, even if you have to kneel, you must bring him back." Liu Ru wiped away her tears, left the hospital, and drove straight to the gate of the National Research Institute. This time, at the institute's gate, she knelt straight down. She just knelt there. Motionless, soon, it attracted a large group of media reporters. Liu Group's heiress kneels to beg former fiancé for reconciliation. Why was the former genius designer expelled? Rich family grudges surface. Various attention-grabbing headlines quickly took over the front pages of major news websites. The security guards tried to persuade her to leave several times, but she was determined and just wouldn't get up. "Unless Fang Yuan comes out to see me, I will kneel here until I die." The news reached my office. Shen Yue looked at the news on her phone, brows furrowed. "She is using public opinion to pressure you. If you don't go out to see her today, those people online will call you cold and heartless." I put down the report in my hand and glanced out the window. There was already a huge crowd downstairs. "Let her kneel," I said calmly. "Yue. Inform the security department for me. Say someone is disturbing public order at the entrance, seriously affecting the normal work of our institute. Tell them to handle it according to the regulations. Shen Yue immediately understood what I meant. Understood ill go, right away a few minutes later. The security guards walked out, they grabbed Liu Ru's arms and dragged her away. I stood by the window, with no ripples in my heart. Back in my previous life, when I was sent to prison and tortured to death, did anyone from the Liu family ever care if I lived or died? In the following days, the Liu group situation became even more difficult. Major banks all changed their attitudes. They sent people over, demanding that the Liu group immediately repay all due loans. Suppliers also stopped shipments, blocking the company entrance to demand payment. A large number of employees resigned, causing panic everywhere. Meanwhile, at the National Research Institute, the team, led by me and Shen Yue, successfully developed the first prototype of the battery. In internal tests, all its data showed amazing advantages. Efficiency is over 5 times higher than any battery currently on the market. Energy density was 20 higher than Qin Xiao's plan. Cycle life reached the industry's top level. Dean Wang saw the test report, so excited that his hands were shaking. We did it, he decided immediately, to hold a press conference, to announce our research results to the outside world. On the day of the press conference, all mainstream media were present, as I, the project chief engineer, stood before the podium, announcing that string of industry-disrupting data. Thunderous applause erupted instantly. My name, overnight, spread throughout the entire automotive industry. The next day, I received an exciting phone call. The other party claimed to be a global automotive giant, Tesla's headquarters vice president. On the phone, he praised my technical achievements and then directly extended an invitation. Mr. Fang, we sincerely invite you to join Tesla to serve as our global battery R&D center's chief scientist. We can offer you a $10 million annual salary, as well as one of the company's founder shares. You will have a world-class R&D team and unlimited budget. We believe, with your talent plus Tesla's platform, we will surely change the world. This offer can be said to be sky high. If I accepted, I would achieve financial freedom instantly, becoming a top global technical elite. Everyone thought that. I had no reason to refuse such a temptation. Even Dean Wang had a talk with me, fearing that the talent the country had worked so hard to cultivate would be poached away just like that, in front of Dean Wang. I called back the Tesla vice president. Thank you very much for your appreciation, but I cannot accept your invitation. My technology belongs to my country. I will only serve my motherland. The vice president on the other end was silent for a long time, eventually expressing regret but respecting my choice. Dean Wang, listening from the side, excitedly gripped my hand. Well done, Fang Yuan. The country didn't misjudge you. The news of me turning down Tesla's sky-high salary caused another sensation. People, while admiring my technology, respected my patriotism even more. While Liu Ru and Qin Shou came to the National Research Institute again, this time I let the guards let them in. In my office, I met these two people who destroyed my previous life. Liu Ru was even more haggard than last time, while Qin Shou had completely lost his initial high spirits. After they entered, Qin Shou bowed deeply to me. Fang Yuan, I am sorry, I admit, my technology is inferior to yours. It was my arrogance, my obsession with proving myself, that made things end up like this. I beg you, for the sake of Grandpa, please save the Liu family. Liu Ru also spoke up, her voice full of pleading. Yuan, we really know we were wrong. As long as you are willing to help, whether by acquiring the Liu Group or by technical investment, we will agree to any condition. The Liu Group cannot fall. It was Grandpa's life's work. I sat behind my desk, quietly listening to their repentance. If you had known today, why act like that back then? I said calmly. Back then, in Elder Lias' office, he gave you the chance to choose. You chose to believe Qin Shou and abandon me. That was your own decision. Now you have to bear the consequences of your decision. Qin Shu's face turned beet red. Liu Ru smiled sadly. I understand what you mean now. You still hate us. After all, I don't hate you, because you are no longer worth my hatred. Please leave. I issued the order to leave. The two of them walked out of my office, looking like lost souls. In order to save the near-bankrupt company, the Liu family began selling off assets. But all of this was just a drop in the bucket. The debt hole of the Liu group was too large. It simply couldn't be filled. And my life had ushered in a new chapter. That evening, Shen Yue and I were walking by the lake at the institute, talking about work, talking about the future, when suddenly, Shen Yue stopped in her tracks, looking at me earnestly. Fang Yuan, I like you. My heart skipped a beat. Since the day you turned down Tesla, I have fallen for you. I think you are a man of talent, a man of responsibility, and a man of integrity. I know you've been hurt deeply in the past, but I don't care. I just want to tell you that for the road ahead, I want to walk it with you. Her eyes were clear and resolute, looking at her. The shadows of my past life were completely dispelled in this moment. I took her hand. Yue, I like you too. Just like that, we confirmed our relationship. At the end of the year, the National Science and Technology Progress Award ceremony was held at the Great Hall of the People. The battery project won the first prize. As the project lead, I went up to the stage to receive the award on behalf of the entire team. Under the spotlight, I held the trophy, feeling incredibly moved. When delivering my acceptance speech, I looked at Shen Yue and said happily, standing here, there is one person I want to thank. She is my girlfriend, my important partner, Ms. Shen Yue. It was her support and companionship that helped me climb out of the lowest point in my life. It was also her gentleness and kindness that healed my internal wounds. This award, half the credit belongs to her. The Liu Group couldn't pay off its debts even by selling all its assets, and had no choice but to file for bankruptcy protection. When the news reached the hospital, Elder Liu lay in his hospital bed, sobbing bitterly. I have failed our ancestors. I have failed the foundation of the Liu family. If only I had insisted on keeping a yuan back then, things wouldn't have ended up like this. But in this world, there is no such thing as a regret pill. After the Liu group went bankrupt, the Liu family moved from their mansion to an old, run-down apartment complex. Not long after receiving the National Science and Technology Award, I proposed to Shen Yue. Our engagement ceremony was very low-key, but the news still made headlines in all major financial media. In the photos, I put the ring on Shen Yue's finger, and she was smiling happily and sweetly. After the Liu family went bankrupt, Liu Ru could only support herself by taking odd jobs. When she saw my happy smiling face with Shen Yue on her phone, it felt like her heart was torn to pieces. The man who should have belonged to her, now belonged to someone else. She broke down and cried on the spot. From that day on, she could only numb herself with alcohol, spending entire days and nights in bars, drinking herself into a stupor. Chin Shou's outcome was even more miserable than Liu Ru's. Because of that major accident, no company was willing to hire him. He couldn't find a job, and began to resent Liu Ru. It's all your fault. Why did you choose me back then? If you had let Fang Yuan take charge of the project, we wouldn't be in this situation now. He pushed all the blame onto Liu Ru. The two of them fought and cursed each other, turning from childhood sweethearts into bitter enemies who despised one another. One day, I received a phone call. It was from the Liu family's old butler. He told me that Elder Liu was dying, and before he passed, he wanted to see me one last time. I hesitated for a moment, but agreed in the end, after all. He was the only one in the Liu family who had ever truly treated me well. In the hospital room, I saw the dying Elder Liu. He was so thin. He was just skin and bones. Seeing me, he struggled to sit up. I quickly stepped forward to support him. Grandpa Liu, he gripped my hand tightly in excitement. Ah, Yuan, you came. I am sorry to you. I don't ask you to save the Liu family. I only ask that you forgive Ru. She knows she was wrong. She has always had you in her heart. I remained silent, offering no answer. Seeing that I didn't speak, Elder Liu shed a tear, his grip on my hand slowly loosening. Elder Liu's funeral was very quiet. There were only a handful of people who came to pay their respects. I took Yue with me to the cemetery to pay my respects. Before his tombstone, I bowed deeply. Grandpa Liu, the kindness you showed in teaching me, Fang Yuan will never forget. Please rest in peace. As for Liu Ru, the grudges between us are now wiped clean. From now on, we are just strangers. 2 years later, with national support, I left the National Research Institute to start my own company. Relying on the competitive edge of our batteries, we quickly captured the market. Shen Yue resigned from her job at the institute to serve as the company's COO. Through our joint efforts, the company grew aggressively. Another year passed, and the company successfully listed on the star market. On the day of the listing, I stood on the bell-ringing platform at the exchange, with the person by my side being none other than Shen Yue, dressed in a sharp suit. In my previous life, it was also in this very place that Liu Ru reported me publicly, pushing me into the abyss. In this life, I personally rang my own opening bell. The moment the bell rang, I looked at Shen Yue beside me and revealed a genuine heartfelt smile. Meanwhile, after the Liu family went bankrupt, Liu Ru, in order to pay off her debts, started working in a nightclub as a hostess. The once high and mighty young miss of the Liu family now had to force smiles. For those greasy men at the tables, the hardship of life and mental torment made her look like an old woman in her 40s, despite being not even 30 yet. As for Chin Shou, he had gone completely insane and was committed to a mental hospital. 1 month after the company went public, Shen Yue and I held a grand wedding. The wedding was held by the seaside, with elites from the entire automotive industry and well-known figures from various fields, all coming to offer their congratulations. That day, Shen Yue wore a pure white wedding dress, looking as beautiful as a princess in front of all the guests. I placed the wedding ring on her finger. Ms. Shen Yue, from this day forward, are you willing to become the wife of me, Fang Yuan? Whether in wealth or poverty, whether in sickness or health, will you love me, be loyal to me? Until the very end, I do, she answered through tears. We kissed deeply. Meanwhile, looking at the screen, Liu Ru saw the scene of us kissing deeply and cried her eyes out. Only until this moment did she finally fully realize that what she had lost was the only man on this earth who would love her to the bone and sacrifice everything for her, and this man could never be recovered. 5 years later, I brought Shen Yue, along with our son who had just learned to walk, to play in the garden of our villa. Our son's nickname is Anan, signifying peace and joy. Daddy, Anan, reached out his chubby little hands, stumbling as he ran towards me. I laughed and picked him up. Shen Yue sat in a recliner, watching us father and son with tenderness. A successful career, a happy family. This was the happiest ending for this life of